Should you upgrade your pedals or your wheelbase to brake better? Everyone gives you the same answer, pedals. And that answer is right for some people and wrong for others. And nobody tells you which one you are. So let me actually settle this. The correct braking upgrade depends entirely on how hard you're pushing. Fast drivers and casual drivers need opposite things. Here's why. First, understand what braking fast actually is. At the top level, threshold braking, you're pressing right up to the point where the tire is about to lock, and holding it there on the very edge, then trailing off smoothly as you turn in. You're not braking hard, you're braking exactly. A few percent too much and the tire locks. A few percent too little and you're leaving time on the table. The whole skill is living on that edge. Now the key question, when you're on that edge, what tells you you're there? At the limit, it's feel. You're reading the car through everything it gives you. And one of the biggest signals is the wheel itself. As the front tire approaches lock under braking, it starts to unload and the wheel goes light in your hands. The resistance drops. That lightening is the front telling you it's about to let go. A clean, fast wheelbase gives you that moment sharply, the instant it happens. A cheap belt or gear-driven wheel smears it, softens it, delays it, so by the time you feel anything, you've already locked and lost the corner. That's the whole argument for the fast driver. When you're racing on the limit in iRacing, the thing holding your braking back usually isn't your foot. It's that you can't feel the edge clearly enough to sit on it. And feeling the edge is a fidelity problem, which means it's a wheelbase problem. Upgrade the base and the limit stops being a guess. You brake later and harder because you can finally feel exactly where it is. So for the driver pushing hard, the wheelbase is the braking upgrade, genuinely, not the pedals. But, and this is the part that makes this video honest, that only applies if you're actually driving on the limit. Most people aren't. And if you're not, the answer flips completely. Here's the casual and mid-pack reality. If you're racing for fun, or you're mid-grid and still learning tracks, you are almost never braking right on the edge of lock. You're braking with grip in reserve, a safe margin below the limit, because that's the smart, consistent way to race at that level. And when you're braking below the limit, that delicate front lockup feel barely comes into play. You're not fishing for the edge, you're just trying to hit the same brake point with the same pressure, lap after lap. And that consistency is a pedal job. Cheap pedals measure how far you push, not how hard. So you're trying to repeat a foot position every lap, which your body is bad at. A load cell measures pressure, and your body repeats a pressure far more reliably than a position. Swap to a load cell, and your braking gets consistent almost overnight. Same corner, same pressure every time. For a casual or improving driver, that consistency is worth more than any amount of wheelbase fidelity you're not yet using. So look at how cleanly this splits. If you're pushing the limit, chasing tenths, trail braking on the edge, the wheelbase is your braking upgrade, because your problem is feeling the edge, and that's fidelity. If you're racing casually or still building consistency, the pedals are your braking upgrade, because your problem is repeating your inputs, and that's a load cell. It's not that one is right and one is wrong, it's that they solve different problems. And which problem you have depends on how fast you're going. There's one clean way to know which camp you're in. Ask yourself, honestly, do you regularly brake hard enough to lock up? If you're flirting with lockups every lap, fighting to stay just under, you're on the limit, and you'll feel a better base immediately. If you basically never lock up because you brake with a comfortable margin, you're not limited by feel yet. And a load cell will do more for you right now. And here's the nice part. As you get faster, your answer changes. The load cell that made you consistent as an improving driver is exactly what lets you start pushing to the limit. And once you're there, the wheelbase becomes the next unlock. They're not rivals, they're a sequence. And where you are in it depends on your pace. Next video, the direct drive brands compared. Moza, Fanatec, Simagic, Acetec, Simucube. who they're actually for, and why the most expensive one isn't the one you want.